2025 Advent Calendar from Brutus Monroe. Got all my little packages lined up here. I will be doing a video daily. I love these little packages. I also like using them for cards, so I try to be careful when I open them, at least the one side. I love the stickers too, they're super fun. So here is day one. I guess it's not going to open that way, so we're going to do a little cut, because I really don't want to tear it, if I can help it. I mean, there's plenty of the color papers, but the envelopes, but I'd like to have them if I can, because I think they're fun to do something with. Oh, so day one of the calendar is these Advent Calendar exclusive. It's a glitter stock pack. Let's open this pack up. There's 12 sheets. They are 3 by 3, it looks like, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yep. So it looks like probably 3 different colors. So this would be ruby, emerald, and this has to be chunky gilded. So I'm gonna go pull some other things from my stash. Anything that I will use that is available will still be linked below. And you can also go over to my blog and see more information about each project and the products I used. So let me go grab some things and I will be right back. I did a little bit of playing around before I came back. I grabbed the poppy flowers. I believe that's what it's called. Stamp set or die set. That was still available at the time of recording. I'm going to use that. I cut out some of the florals from the red, and then I grabbed some red scraps from my stash. I also grabbed the Winter Wonderland paper pad. This was still in stock when I was filming this, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to try to use some of the same things each video, so that way you guys, there's not a ton of different things, and that maybe if you got the box and you have a few things. I know I pulled the holiday shapes. I don't know if this is still in stock, and some of the other new Christmas releases that will be for sentiments and things. So I have a little bit more die cutting to do. I'm going to cut some leaves out of the green, the emerald. I'm only going to do one flower. And then I'm going to cut the sentiment, or the center. Let me do 2 flowers, I should say. And then I'm going to cut the center out of the gold chunky stock. So I'm going to quick do that and then come back. We're going to do a little ink blending on the flowers. We'll put those together and then we'll start putting our card together. So I will be right back. Okay, I got my flowers cut out, my center. So we're going to do a little ink blending on the red cardstock that I have here. I just grabbed some bee sting ink. To add a little bit. Now, I will tell you, sometimes you can use a brown ink to darken a red, but I'm just going to use this extra little bit of red right here. Let's see, that's this paper. Put this down just so I don't have to worry about cleaning too much. Just going to add a little bit, and it's Christmas, so we're going to add a little extra sparkle. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn off my TV, so I will get the commercials there off. We don't need that in the background. So we're just going to do a little ink blending. I'm going to grab my little tray here. And you're not going to see a ton of this. I mean, I may change this up, I think, because like I said, I wanted to deepen them a little bit. Let's see if you can see. You can't really see it with this color. So this is where I told you we can use a brown color. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my, I'm going to grab Gur here because it's a little bit lighter brown than the Weeping Willow. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing. And you can see in that little bit of brown, kind of just deepens it. I'm just going to kind of go through the centers and a little bit on one of the edges here. I'll bring that up a little closer so you can see. See? And there's not too many of these, so that's why I'm gonna ink blend them all. I have a couple of them already kind of formed. I did a little curling of them and fluffing, I think is the term my friend Leah uses. And then, so we're gonna go ahead and throw these in here. And I'm gonna grab my favorite. We're gonna see a lot of the Ornament Gold Chroma Mist in our, and I'm just gonna spritz them all because it's my favorite. You guys know it's my favorite thing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my heat tool to these just to dry them. And then I will come right back and we will finish our card. Okay, now what I'm gonna show you how I don't do a lot of curling. I just have a bone folder here, and I don't want to do too much to this piece because this is the layer. So I'm just kind of scraping it on the edges a little bit. But for these pieces, I kind of, I just kind of held it, and there's different ways you can do it. You can use other things. I just used kind of a bone folder edge. A paintbrush would work. Here, I'll grab a paintbrush. Because it's something you can kind of curl up against. It's kind of how much you want it to curl. I mean, you could take some time. I know there's like curling tools out there that you can grab and put it on a silicone mat and help them kind of curl. I will say it also curled a little bit because I heat embossed, not heat embossed them, but I set them with my heat tool. So that works for me. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to install these put these together. I know, like I said, I definitely am going to do 2 flowers or 1 flower. I'm thinking I'm going to do 2, but we'll see. They're just a little bit different. I'm just kind of on the fence about which ones I want to do. I'm thinking about, sparkle, things like that. So first thing we're going to do is grab some liquid glue, put that right dab in the middle. If you're having an issue with the liquid glue, you could use foam dots. You can use glue dots. I find sometimes it's just some patience. And I do know that when you use glitter stock, it's good to use, sometimes you need to use 2 adhesives, but with ours, I'm usually pretty good about being able to add just the regular glue. We're going to go ahead and put these all together like this. This is where I'm on the fence about which way I want to finish my flower, because I don't know if I'm going to do 1 flower or 2. I don't know if I want to do the glitter like that, or if I want to throw 1 more of these in here like this. And I may just do the 1 flower and just make it nice and full. I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's already glued down. Add a little more glue here. I mean, you could keep going. You could find some other dies from your stash that have smaller pieces and keep building and building and building. But I'm just going to do a little bit here. Add that right to the center. Oops. And then I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers here, and I'm going to just kind of stick it together, and we're just going to set that off to the side to kind of dry. I'll twist that around where I want it. That's one thing about liquid glue is you can twist it. Okay, so I have a card base here. I have my paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're just going to see what we think. Now, I feel like it's going to need something else. So, because I'm like, even though this is, it's I think we need something else. So I'm going to play a little bit, and I know what I'm going to do here. We're going to take this glitter stock, chunky glitter stock here. Hopefully you can see this on camera. I have it right now. It's at 2 1/4 because I just cut off a little edge to cut the center. I'm going to go ahead and move it over 1/4 inch and chop it down, and do another 1/4 inch and chop it down. Now these do come in bigger sheets, but I'm using the one that came in our bag. And what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to grab a piece of red cardstock and maybe layer that. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of shred this on like this, and then where we'll cover that part right there, and you'll never know there was a seam. But I feel like we need a little bit more, so we could do a red card base. I don't know if I have one right here. I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of red cardstock from my stash and just cut it down. Of course, I just threw paper all over the floor. And I'm going to do just a little bit of it's going to be 4 and not really a quarter, 4 1/8. Is that what it is? By 5 and 3/8. And then we will mat that right on here, and that little bit of extra red will make it pop up a little bit nicer. Now you have a couple options. We could also go this way, which is what I might change it to, because I'm thinking about using one of these long sentiment strips. And we only need a little piece then of this. So let's get this put together. And then we're going to layer that on here. And I'm just going to eyeball it because sometimes I don't get things straight, but it will work. And then I will go ahead and put a little bit on here. And if you wanted to, you could put a little liquid adhesive under here too. That would give you a little wiggle room, but I just go for it. Straight enough. It's homemade. Okay, so there's our card base. Now we've got our beautiful flower here and our glitter stock like this. So I think what we need to do is, and actually thinking maybe, do I want to do 2 of them? You wouldn't even have to. You could do 2 and just have them end, but I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these right in half. We're going to cut them in half. It doesn't matter. I am going to use liquid glue for this. And I have a T ruler here that has a little lip on it. And we'll go over here. And I'm just going to measure it and put it right there. And all I'm really doing, I'm not measuring, I'm using the edge of my straight ruler to help me keep my gold straight. And then because I have it lined up, I know that those 2 line up. And then we'll just move it over a little ways and eyeball it. The most important part is just getting it to the edge and then making sure it's kind of straight against my my ruler here. I do apologize. I have a little bit of a cold this morning, so I'm trying not to sneeze or cough or anything. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our flower. I just want to check, make sure this is down just a little bit. That one goes up just a little bit before it adheres too much. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add our flower. It's pretty dry now, so I'm just going to add some glue to the center. And I'm just going to kind of put it down a little bit because it is hiding that. I'll just put that down there. I'll put my little magnet on top, and we're going to start stick. Let's do our sentiment first. I am going to use this sentiment. I'm going to do Happiest Holidays. I tend to do a lot of Merry Christmas, but I think I'm going to do Happiest Holidays. And I think to reinforce some of the color, I'm going to heat emboss it on gold, on the same red with gilded embossing powder. So line that up in our MISTI here. And I want a second magnet to hold that in place. And line that up like that. Get our anti-static powder tool on there. And our embossing ink. I may stamp this down a couple of times because it is the first time I've used this sentiment. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to grab my gilded embossing powder here. Gilded sparkle would also work because it's got a little bit extra sparkle in it. But I'm just going to use the regular old gilded. And let us heat emboss this. Quick. Perfect. I love the font from this stamp set. Give it a second to cool. We're just letting it cool because I'm going to wipe off the extra powder here. Okay. And sometimes if you don't wait long enough to let it cool, you can wipe the embossing powder if it's still warm right off. Ask me how I know. So I hope you enjoy your, if you didn't know, I did do a holiday or a Halloween series. This will, like I said, these videos will go live every day for the next 12 days. Please consider subscribing, thumbs upping, liking. And once again, I also, like I said, will have my, my blog in the description box below if you would like to get updates from me from cards that I may not necessarily have a video for, but I have instructions for or have done, or events that I have coming up and things like that. And I appreciate y'all. I hope you guys are having a great December so far. Yep, we're going to go ahead and put this in. However, before I do that, I do want to, I mean, I kind of like it right here, you know, but we need to add some green. We need some more of this glitter stock. So we're just going to kind of throw some in here. Now you could grab a different type of leaf. I just grabbed the leaves that were part of this die set. You know, you wouldn't have to use this one. You could do some other type of greenery. All right, I think I'm going to chop that one down, even though it's a bigger leaf, but I'm just going to stick it in a little bit, and then we'll stick this one in here too, like this. I think that works for me, so let's get those in there. And we'll have day one of the Advent calendar complete. Let me know in the comments, do you do Advent calendars? This is the first year I've done them. It's been fun. I don't do a lot of them. I would love to do some more, but I don't have time. So, because I think it's more fun for, like, especially for crafty Advent calendars, to be able to go in and create a video each day using them. So we'll see, you know, maybe do some more in the future. I know I have family that get like a cheese Advent calendar where they get a little piece of cheese that's different every single day. I think that's kind of fun too. All right, let's move these around a little bit. I don't necessarily like where they were placed. There we go. I want them to be a little bit more clustered together. All right, we're going to put our magnets down on top of those so they will dry, and then we will get our foam tape, or not our foam tape, our sentiment down. And I'm going to let the glitter stock be the shine along with the embossing powder and the tuck that under a little bit because you'll know that that says Happiest Holidays. I'm just using the dots to line that up. The glitter stock and the embossing powder and that chroma mist, that can be all the stars. I'm not going to add any other bling. So then, like I said, we'll just floof this up a little bit, and there we go. here's day 1 of our advent calendar. Thank y'all. I will see ya tomorrow. Bye.